Breaking news: martial law in South Korea. South Korea is in the news, but not for K-pop or Samsung phones. On December 2, 2024, President Yoon Suk-yeol made a dramatic announcement. He declared martial law across the entire nation. This unexpected move sent shockwaves through South Korea and the world. The situation is tense, and people are anxiously waiting to see what happens next. South Korea has a long and complicated history. It's a nation that has faced many challenges, but through it all, they have always strived for democracy. This recent declaration of martial law has raised concerns about the future of democracy in South Korea. Many fear it could be in jeopardy. The world is watching closely. They want to understand what led to this drastic decision, and more importantly, they want to know what it means for the future of South Korea. What happens next is anyone's guess. But one thing is certain: the stakes are incredibly high. Citizens are gathering in small groups, discussing the implications of this sudden change. News anchors are providing live updates, trying to make sense of the unfolding events. Political analysts are debating the potential outcomes and the reasons behind this unprecedented move. Social media is abuzz with reactions, as people share their fears and hopes for the future. Even in classrooms, students are discussing the impact of martial law on their lives in their country. Families are glued to their televisions, seeking clarity and reassurance in these uncertain times. Through it all, the South Korean flag flies high, a symbol of the nation's resilience and hope. South Korea's political landscape is no stranger to tension. The nation has experienced numerous political upheavals over the decades, each leaving a significant mark on its governance and society. The nation has a history of political struggles and power dynamics. From military coups to democratic movements, South Korea's journey has been anything but smooth. In recent times, the rivalry between President Yoon Suk-yeol's People Power Party and the opposition Democratic Party has intensified. This rivalry is not just a political contest, but a battle for the future direction of the country. This political battleground is at the heart of the current crisis. The stakes are high, and the outcomes could shape South Korea's political landscape for years to come. President Yoon, since taking office, has faced an uphill battle. His administration has been marked by significant challenges, both from within the government and from the public. The opposition Democratic Party holds a majority in the parliament. This majority has been a significant obstacle for President Yoon, making it difficult for him to pass key legislation. This has made it incredibly difficult for Yoon to push through his agenda and enact his desired policies. The legislative gridlock has stalled many of his initiatives, leading to frustration and disillusionment. This power struggle has created a political deadlock, hindering effective governance. The inability to move forward has left many issues unresolved, exacerbating the crisis. Adding fuel to the fire, President Yoon's approval ratings have plummeted to a dismal 25%. This sharp decline reflects the growing dissatisfaction among the populace. This reflects a growing discontent among the South Korean populace. The public's frustration is palpable, with many feeling that their voices are not being heard. They are unhappy with his leadership and the direction he's taking the country. The discontent has manifested in widespread protests and vocal opposition. In this climate of political instability and public disapproval, tensions were already running high. The atmosphere is charged and the future remains uncertain. The declaration of martial law is not an isolated incident but rather a culmination of these simmering tensions. It represents the boiling point of a long-standing conflict, highlighting the urgent need for resolution. President Yoon, in a televised address to the nation, defended his decision to declare martial law. He cited looming threats from North Korea as a primary reason. Yoon claimed that North Korean communist forces pose a serious threat to South Korea's security. However, President Yoon's justifications go beyond external threats. He also pointed fingers at internal enemies, accusing the opposition Democratic Party of sympathizing with North Korea. Yoon went as far as labeling some of their actions as anti-state activities. He specifically called out their attempts to impeach top prosecutors and their rejection of a crucial government budget proposal. According to President Yoon, these actions demonstrate the opposition's disregard for national security and their willingness to undermine the government. He argues that such behavior necessitates swift and decisive action. To safeguard the nation and protect its citizens, he claims, martial law is essential. Martial law. It's a term that evokes strong reactions. But what exactly does it mean for the people of South Korea? In essence, martial law signifies the temporary rule of the military. It's a state of emergency where the armed forces take control, superseding civilian authority. Under martial law, certain fundamental rights and freedoms are often suspended. Freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, and even freedom of movement can be restricted. The military gains the power to detain individuals, censor the media, and control public gatherings. Essentially, life as South Koreans know it changes dramatically. The declaration of martial law has significant implications for South Korea's legal and constitutional framework. It raises serious concerns about the future of democracy in the country. This is not just about increased security measures, it's about a fundamental shift in power dynamics. Section 5. Public outcry and political opposition. The declaration of martial law sent shockwaves through South Korea, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and fear. The sudden announcement caught many off guard, leading to widespread panic and confusion among the populace. The news was met with a mixture of fear, confusion, and outright anger. Citizens were unsure of what the future held, and many were deeply concerned about the implications of such a drastic measure. In Seoul, the nation's capital, citizens expressed deep concern about the situation. Conversations in cafes, offices, and homes were dominated by the topic, with everyone trying to make sense of the unfolding events. Many rushed to supermarkets, stocking up on essential supplies, fearing the worst. Shelves were quickly emptied as people bought food, water, and other necessities, preparing for an uncertain future. Protests erupted across major cities, with people taking to the streets to voice their opposition to martial law. The demonstrations were marked by a strong sense of unity and determination among the protesters. "No to martial law" became a rallying cry as citizens demanded a return to democratic norms. The streets echoed with chants and slogans, reflecting the collective anger and frustration of the people. The political opposition in South Korea has been swift and resolute in its condemnation of President Yoon's actions. Leaders from various parties united in their criticism, calling for an immediate reversal of the declaration. Lawmakers, in an emergency session, voted to block the president's martial law declaration. The session was intense, with heated debates and passionate speeches from both sides of the aisle. Even members within President Yoon's own party expressed their disapproval. The internal dissent highlighted the growing rift within the political landscape, as more voices called for accountability and transparency. Han Dong-hoon, a prominent figure in the People Power Party, publicly criticized the declaration, calling it wrong and vowing to oppose it. His strong stance resonated with many, further fueling the opposition movement. The political backlash against President Yoon has been significant. The president's decision has not only sparked public outrage, but also intensified political unrest, leading to a volatile and unpredictable situation. It reflects the deep divisions within the government and the widespread disapproval of his actions. The country stands at a crossroads, with its democratic principles and future hanging in the balance. The international community has been closely monitoring the situation in South Korea. World leaders have expressed their concerns, urging restraint and a return to democratic processes. The United States, a key ally of South Korea, issued a statement calling for calm and respect for democratic norms. The European Union also voiced its apprehensions, emphasizing the importance of upholding human rights and the rule of law. Meanwhile, neighboring countries in the region are watching the developments with a mix of anxiety and caution. The global response underscores the far-reaching implications of the crisis in South Korea, highlighting the interconnected nature of modern geopolitics. As the days pass, the atmosphere in South Korea remains tense. The streets of major cities are filled with a palpable sense of unease. Citizens are grappling with uncertainty, unsure of what the future holds. Schools and businesses have been affected, with many opting to close their doors temporarily. The media is abuzz with constant updates, as journalists work tirelessly to cover the unfolding events. Social media platforms are flooded with messages of solidarity, as well as calls for action. The nation's resilience is being tested, and the people of South Korea are showing remarkable resolve in the face of adversity. This period will undoubtedly be remembered as a defining moment in South Korea's history. The actions taken by the government, the response of the citizens, and the international community's stance will shape the country's future for years to come. It is a time of reflection, as the nation grapples with its identity and values. The path forward is uncertain, but the spirit of the South Korean people remains unbroken. They are determined to navigate this crisis with courage and unity, striving for a future that honors their democratic principles and aspirations.